Hello everyone, my name is Ayushi Kumari and I am a member of Shivi Forensics. Today I will be presenting on a very important and fascinating topic, that is wildlife forensics. I welcome you all to this session and I hope by the end of this presentation you will have a better understanding of how science help us to protect and preserve our wildlife. What is wildlife forensics? Wildlife forensics is simply the application of science to solve crime related to animals and nature. It deals with crime like poaching, illegal trade of animals, and habitat destruction. The main goal is to identify the species, trace their origin, and catch the offenders so that wildlife laws can be enforced. It is an interdisciplinary field where biology, chemistry, and forensic science come together to conserve biodiversity. Why is wildlife forensic important? First, it helps us fight illegal wildlife trade, which is sadly a multi-billion-dollar global business. Second, it supports international agreements like CITES, which protect endangered animals and plants. Third, it helps in saving threatened species and ecosystem, ensuring that our nature heritage is not lost for future generations. Branches of wildlife forensics. There are three branches. First one is DNA analysis, morphology, and chemistry. First one is DNA analysis, identifies the species, individual, and even the origin of animals. Morphology studies physical traits like fur, feather, bone, and footprint when DNA is unavailable. Chemistry: find out cause of death by detecting toxin, poisons, or diseases in animal samples. Crime scene investigation technique: when a wildlife crime occurs, the crime scene is handled just like in human cases. These steps are securing the scene and prevent contamination, documenting everything using photos, sketches, and GPS, searching systematically in grid or spiral pattern to locate evidences. The tools used include cameras, GPS, measuring scale, and evidence markers. This step is very important because a single feather, hair, or footprint can solve the case. Evidence collection. Evidence collection is the heart of forensic investigation. We collect biological samples like blood, hair, or tissues with sterile tools. We make casts of footprint or tire marks. We also collect weapons used by poachers. And while doing all this, investigators must wear protective gear to stay safe from diseases and biohazards. One of the most critical parts of forensic science is maintaining the chain of custody. This means keeping a clear record of who collected, handled, or tested the evidence. Every transfer must be signed, dated, and sealed properly. If the chain is broken, the evidence may not be accepted in court even if it is genuine. So chain of custody ensure the credibility and legal strength of the case. Packaging of evidences. Packaging may sound simple, but it can make or break a case. Biological and non-biological evidences should be kept separately. Samples should be sealed in sterile, tamper-proof containers. Each package must have details like date, time, location, and name of collector. Biological evidence is stored in cool condition, while other items must be kept dry. Proper packaging ensures that evidence is not contaminated or degraded. DNA analysis in wildlife forensics. DNA is a powerful tool in wildlife cases. It helps us identify species, determine parentage, and even track the geographical origin of animals. Common techniques used are PCR, DNA barcoding, and mitochondrial DNA sequencing. Morphological and anatomical analysis. Sometimes DNA may not be available, so we rely on morphological and anatomical studies. This means studying fur, feather, bone, teeth, or footprints. Microscope and databases are used to compare these with known species. This is very useful in case where the sample is too old or degraded for DNA testing. Pathology and chemical analysis. Pathology and chemical analysis help us know how an animal died. They can detect poison, diseases, or chemical residue in tissues. For example, many birds die due to pesticide poisoning, and toxicology tests can confirm that. The tools used include mass spectroscopy and toxicology screening kit. International wildlife laws. On global level, the most important law is CITES. It adopted in 1973 and regulates trade by over 35,000 species of animals and plants. Different countries like Malaysia implement it with their own national rules. The aim is to reduce illegal trade in animals like elephant, tiger, and pangolins. National wildlife laws in India. In India, the most important law is the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. It bans hunting of endangered species like tiger, rhinos, and elephants. It also creates national parks, sanctuaries, and Wildlife Crime Control Bureau, that is WCCB. If someone violates this law, they can face up to 7 years of imprisonment and heavy fines. India also has other strong laws that are the Indian Forest Act 1927 regulates forest and hunting. The Forest Conservation Act 1980 protects forest land from misuses. Even the Indian Constitution plays a role. Article 48A says it is duty of a state to protect forest and wildlife. Article 51A(g) makes it duty of every citizen to protect the environment. Case studies in India. Shahtosh wool case. In this case, DNA proved that the wool came from Tibet antelope, leading to convictions. Tiger poaching in Kaziranga. Snake venom trafficking in West Bengal. Challenges in India. There are only limited forensic labs and most are far from forested areas. Many samples get damaged during collection and transport. Labs like WII and CCMB face shortage of trained manforce, so India need more trained expert labs and awareness programs. Conclusion. To conclude, wildlife forensics is a powerful tool to conservation. From DNA to crime scene investigation, every step play a role in protecting animals. If evidence is collected and handled properly, it ensures strong legal outcome. As responsible citizen and scientist, it is our duty to support forensic training, stricter enforcement, and global cooperation. Thank you.